Yes. Yes. I'm so glad you asked this question. I dreamed about somebody asking me this question. I did. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm ready for this answer. Success is when you overcome all fears. That is what success is to me.
Hello and welcome to Voices for Impact. My name is Danielle Mensing, founder of Voices for Impact, and today I'm talking with none other than NFL football player Latavius K-Train Murray. He's currently a running back for the New Orleans Saints, and Tay has previously played for the Minnesota Vikings and Oakland Raiders. He's a Syracuse native from Nedrow. He attended Onondaga Central High School. Tay, thank you so much for coming on Voices for Impact today.
Thank you for having me.
What is one fond memory that you have about growing up in Syracuse?
Um, I would probably say probably growing up in Nedrow, like the Nedrow area, and going to Kelly Park. We used to walk to Kelly Park and play basketball. Um, Walk back home, but just spend, hours playing ball, when you really just didn't care. You were a kid, you wanted to be outside, you wanted to get out the house, and you wanted to go be active. And for us growing up in the Nedrow area, doing that was, I enjoyed that a lot. I miss it, really.
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
those good old days, right? When you can just
right,
go out and play all day long.
right.
Now, you played football growing up, you played basketball, and you ran track in school. Is that right?
Yeah, I ran track maybe freshman year, and I think that I stopped freshman year once I believe football got kind of serious, and I kind of and then I started playing AAU in the spring, so that took up my spring free time.
What was the turning point that made you decide choosing playing to play football?
Yeah, I noticed the amount of attention that I was getting, and I just knew that I had an opportunity to go to school for free, get a full scholarship, and I love the game. I love basketball, just as much, maybe a little more, just because I was able to play younger, and you're just able to play basketball whenever you want, in a sense, if you have somewhere indoors to play, given growing up in upstate New York with the weather, right? So, but football, man, it opened doors for me, and I just was, enjoying it and knew I needed to make the most of that opportunity.
Yeah, what inspired you to play football? What was that moment that you were like, I'm good at football. This is something I need to pursue.
Believe it or not, so like I think I've always been active and I've always been, athletic. But it really wasn't until probably, I think I'm for sure when I got to elementary school, about third grade or so, third grade for sure, it's when I started playing. But I remember seeing kids wearing jerseys and stuff, and I was just like, what do you? Oh, you play football? Okay, you play football? And I'm just like, well, what am I doing? And that was it. I saw my friends playing, I saw my classmates playing, and so I asked my mom if I could play, and the rest was history from there.
Now, you went to Onondaga Central, and Mike Hart went to Onondaga Central as well, a few years older than you. Did that have any impact on you going to the same school as him and playing football?
It well, I was gonna be, I grew up in the Onondaga Central system, and I know Mike had came from Clay, I believe, that area. But he came to Onondaga as a freshman, started high school at Onondaga. But so I kind of knew I would always obviously be in the Onondaga Central system. But Mike coming in as a freshman and meeting him for the first time, but then seeing the success that he had was just kind of, I mean, I think for anybody from there could tell you it was like something we never seen before. And so that was motivation for, I know, every kid, every athlete, no matter what sport, of just seeing a guy just really dominate and just putting the school on a map. It was I'll never forget that, and so that was a lot of motivation for me for sure.
Now, who were your mentors growing up, and who might be some of your mentors now?
Yeah. So Mike, I consider Mike definitely a mentor growing up. Especially, you take a kid who again had a lot of success in high school and having to deal with that, and then a lot of success in college, and then going on to the pros, and playing a few years there. So when he was someone who was from the same high school, and I wanted to follow the footsteps, not exactly, but obviously I wanted to go to college and make the pros, and he was able to do that. So I was able to get firsthand um, advice and knowledge from him. Um, and then now, I've met so many people over the years, but um, man, it'd be hard to narrow it down to one mentor because honestly, I try to keep really, really good people around me. I have many good people around me that's giving me great advice, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So I think it would be unfair to say one
One.
at older, but definitely, at a younger age, Mike was somebody I looked to and looked up to for that kind of information and feedback.
And probably like most people, more than one person helped mold you into the person that you are now and continue to. And
No
so
doubt,
it is good to keep a good group of people around you to help you in all stages of your life.
no doubt.
What do you think is that unique skill maybe that you have that has helped you achieve your goals? You know, you set out to play football. You said I wanted to go to college to play football and then get into the pros. What motivated you? What was that skill that you had that was able to get you to that point?
When you're younger, you play because you have the skill set and the ability, right? And so I was dominating the sport. I was dominating, high school football, and then you get to UCF, and everyone was dominating. So now you have to make your mark. So I think, and then football. So I just think how I've been able to separate myself is that I'm always striving to be better and to get better, and I never feel or felt like I've arrived. I've
Mhm.
always held, um, I've always kept myself, you know, even kill, like, in a sense, and not get too high, not get too low. And I think that's really benefited me throughout my every career and every level that I played at. To just understand that you can always be better and you can always learn.
What is one of the biggest challenges you've had to face either on or off the field? And then what helped you get through that challenge?
The biggest challenge probably, and I would say on and off it was injuries. Injuries, mainly probably my first major injury, and I was in my freshman year at college, and tore my ACL. Had ACL reconstruction, and I think I learned most about that, and the reason it was so hard because it was, for one, my first injury, and so I've never been taken away from the sports. I've never been not able to play sports. So that challenged me. And then the recovery process after being injured, it's tougher than than actually playing, right?
Right.
Getting yourself back to where you need to be. Um, that was tough too. And so I learned more about myself, and I grew so much with that injury and injuries, and after that, but more so that injury, on how to just how to overcome really, many everything, because it was really mental.
Yeah.
Um, so
How
yeah.
did how do you in those times, you have to keep a positive mindset. How did you get yourself into that positive mindset to keep going even with those injuries, even when you didn't know if those injuries might affect how you play in the
Yeah,
future?
yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough, but I think I had really, really good support, but then also I just kind of I started trusting the process a lot more than I guess I was used to, right? Just trusting whatever moment I was in, whatever stage I was in, and just knowing that it would get better, and things could be worse. And that really helped for me. But again, I said it was mental because physically I've never been through anything like that, but more so mentally I've never been through anything like that, because again, I'm not able to do what I love to do. I'm not able to play. As I mentioned before, that was one of the things I just love to do: get up and be able to go outside and run around and play. So when things get taken away from you, I think there's a bigger lesson in that, right? But when things get taken away from you, you just appreciate, and you work harder at appreciating the things you have. And I think I did that with that injury.
So what is your view and your values on maintaining your body? And as nutrition becomes more widely encouraged, what is your advice to kids and young adults who generally take nutrition for granted?
Yeah, I believe knowing your body is important. Knowing, learning about your body, understanding your body, knowing that your body is different, understanding your body is different. And so what maybe someone else is able to do, eat, how they treat their body, you may not be able to do that. So I think that's huge. And I think that's what has worked for me. I've really been able to kind of trial and error of what works for me, what keeps me healthy, what keeps me on the field. And I've developed just, in a sense, a routine on things that I know I love and I think my body loves. And it's kept me healthy, going into, year 8. Thankfully, I've been able to, be on the field and not sit in sideline.
Now, as a player selected in the 6th round, what was your mindset going into your first year? And did you imagine you'd be making a Pro Bowl in your second year?
No, I didn't. But my mentality, if I'm being honest, was to just get drafted. Like I was very, I felt disrespected. I felt played when I did not get invited to the combine. But but then again, I was, a small town kid, and so for me, seeing my name go across that ticker, that I was going to be drafted, that was big enough for me. And so I just wanted the opportunity, and so I got that. So I look back and you always can got things you can complain about, but I know for me that day, I just wanted to see my name get called at that point and get an opportunity.
What did that feel like when you saw your name and you got drafted? What was that feeling, and who was around you during that time?
Yeah, it was unreal, the feeling. I can't explain it. It was I mean, your life really changes all in a matter of moments, all in a matter of a phone call. And I can truly say since that day, things haven't been the same for good. But I was at home. I was in Nedro sitting on the couch, the black leather couch that we've always had. And was with my mom, my brother, and a friend of mine, um, who I knew from growing up here in Florida. And it was just cool. It was just more so I wanted it laid back and chill. I didn't want too much excitement or anything around it, because again, I wasn't sure how things would turn out. But again, that's just how I am. I love to just, I'm a homebody. I kind of, so it was, but it was a day I'll never forget. My mom was crying. She actually went to the store, real quick, because we were just kind of waiting for my name to be called. But she picked the moment to go to the store, and then in that time I got drafted and called. She called me screaming, crying. But it was a great day. It was a great day.
And a proud day for her. And
Yeah,
and continue to make her proud, I'm sure, with all the things that you're doing.
yeah, she was
Um,
very proud.
it's great. Now, you're also a new father
I
um,
am
to a son named Major.
Major and in Marley, and I have a stepdaughter named Jade. So I was a, yeah, I've been a father now for you can say I'm coming up almost 4 years, but me and my fiance had our first boy, together in 2018 of September, and that's major. And then in October 11th, we had another boy, Marley.
Marley, yes. And so, how many teams do you think are preparing to scout and sign your kids?
Well, so I think one of them has an offer. I think who has the offer, considered them offer. Maybe it's Marley right now, which it may make sense because he's bigger anyway, but he's younger. But Coach Heupel from UCF told me consider him offered when he was born, when he reached out. But so man, it's changed my life being a dad. Like really, like there's no other way to put it, but that it's changed my life, and just really opened up my heart to I guess just things that I didn't feel or really even understand before, to be honest.
And Shantae, your fiance, is she still serving in the United States Navy?
Yeah, so right now she just went over to the reserves, but she was about 11 years in or so, and she's coming up on 12, could be 13. I don't want to speak wrong, but she it's 10 plus for sure. 11 I know, so yeah, she went in right after high school, so um yeah, so she's committed. She loves what she does. And she's the best mother in the world.
Uh, I love seeing your pictures on Instagram. You guys are just the cutest family. Look so happy, and tell her thank you for her service.
Thank you.
What do you wish you would have known when you first started out in the NFL?
So I just read something, and now I'm spitballing this, but I almost feel that it's true. But okay, so is it the frontal lobe of your brain? It doesn't fully develop until you're 25, right,
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
So I almost feel like I'm sure around that age or so where I just started to have a different mindset about my approach to the game. And so I if I could change something, and that would probably be to early on remove the anxiety surrounding the game and just enjoy it. Because I just think early on, you're excited, you're coming into the NFL, you're making good money now. And so maybe you put this pressure on it that doesn't necessarily, that shouldn't be there because it's the NFL, because you're making money, when I should have kept it the same as when I was in Onondaga. I was at UCF. But I think I played well and stuff like that, but I felt I could have approached it with a better mentality. So that's what I would encourage the kids to do. Do the things that you've done to get you to this point. Continue to grow and get better, but keep it fun. Keep it fun. Enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, it is still a game. It's still a game, and you can see right now that there's things that are bigger than the game, right? So just don't make it no bigger than what it is.
What do you know about how COVID-19 is affecting the NFL season coming up and your training currently? How has it affected those things?
Yeah. Fortunately, I've been able to kind of improvise here at the house and, order some equipment. I have a pool, so I can do pool workouts. I have some space to run and land. And so I've been able to adjust, fortunately, me. And I know that's not the case for everybody. I would even say that further. My situation, I know I've been comfortable here at home given the past few months. And I know that's not the case for everybody. So I really feel for everyone who's had a very, very hard time adjusting, struggled just with the restrictions and the regulations that we kind of had to go through. This has been a really, really tough year, but now things are kind of starting to go back into normality, and I'm able to train. But early on though, it was tough. I just kind of had to improvise and find ways to stay in shape and work out.
Mhm. Now, lastly, for our viewers out there that are trying to discover their passion and purpose in life, how do you define success?
Yes, yes. I'm so glad you asked this question. I dreamed about somebody asking me this question. I did. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm ready for this answer. Success is when you overcome all fears. That is what success is to me. And so I say that because fears hold you back. And no matter whatever you do or you want to do, um, you have the fear of, it can be anything. If you have the fear of, you have the fear of success. If you have a fear of getting out and dating, if you have the fear of getting out and trying new things, fears only hold you back. And so when things hold you back, you're not able to be the best version of yourself. You're not able to express yourself the way that you want to. You're not able to be you. And so I swear to you, we'd never talked about this, but
No.
I said that when someone would ask me, I know that that's my answer. Success is when you overcome all fears.
Wow. That's so an impact moment for sure out of
Yeah,
this whole conversation. Wow. Thank you so much, Tay,
absolutely.
for sharing your story and giving our viewers some inspiration and motivation today. And thank you for our viewers who are watching and listening. Please follow and subscribe to Voices for Impact on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I'll see you next time on Voices for Impact.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tay.
Have a good one.